Everybody, Michael Matthes here, and we're going to dive into some content about intermittent fasting. I've been getting a lot of questions on this, and I think this is something that really needs to be covered, especially with how many people out there that are trying it, and how many people on there might not be doing it correctly, and who have questions on it. So I'm going to cover a few things in this video, all right? First thing I'm going to cover is intermittent fasting, what I personally do, all right? What is intermittent fasting? What are the benefits? What are the drawbacks? All right? What does it do for your body exactly? All right, what's some of the science behind it? All right, how to use it, and a biohack for incorporating it into your day, and then some final notes and remarks that I have to share. All right, so let's just go ahead and dive in and get to it. All right, unless you've maybe been not checking out at the grocery store lately. I'm sure you've seen somewhere on some magazine in the aisle, or even your friends talk about it, or some posts on Facebook about this new massive craze amongst fitness celebrities and models. And it's for a good reason. It's called intermittent fasting. And in the spirits of doing this video today, I'm actually doing it myself. So I'm fasting right now, or I have been. Here in about probably 30 minutes, I'll actually eat for the first time today. I've already been up for several hours today. So let's cover the benefits. What I personally will do, and once again, it's just my personal recommendations because I've tried a lot of things, is I will do intermittent fasting 2 to 3 times per week. One time per week, I'll actually do a 24-hour fast, so I'll fast for the whole day. I'll kind of talk about how to do that. I personally use intermittent fasting, and I prefer not to schedule it. I really go with how I feel that day. And once again, I'll do this 2 to 3 times per week. Now, before you do any of these programs, I highly, highly recommend, or before you try anything or make changes to your diet and nutrition, I highly, highly recommend consulting with your doctor to make sure that your body is healthy enough to try this, or what their recommendations would be. So let's talk about what is intermittent fasting, all right? Most people who do this to burn fat, which is great because it will do that. But there's also some more benefits to it, which I will cover here next. But intermittent fasting is basically taking your 24-hour day and only allowing yourself to eat within 6 to 8 hours of that 24-hour day. So you'll eat in a window of 6 to 8 hours, and then you won't eat for 16 to 18 hours. So eating, not eating. You get the idea. All right, so what are the benefits of this? Well, this actually cycles your body in and out of ketosis, which we'll talk about next, while remaining fed. So you're eating, but you're keeping your body in a state of ketosis. Now, this helps regulate blood sugar levels. It helps with absorption of vitamins and minerals more. There are some drawbacks, because once again, not everything is perfect. Some drawbacks are that it causes energy slumps. All right, you might crash, around 2 p.m. from not eating, or if you don't eat, and then you eat around 1:30 and your blood sugar levels go boop, and then straight down, you also might crash. So there are benefits, pros, and cons to it, but let's kind of dive into a little bit more, and then we can decide for you if you think it's going to be a good idea to implement. So what does intermittent fasting do for your body? All right, well, it puts your body in a state of ketosis. Now, you've probably heard of the ketone diet. All right, that's also kind of really popular right now, and it's popular because it's essentially intermittent fasting. Now, what the ketone diet is basically restricting carbohydrates for your body. It's not eating carbs for 3 or 4 days. And then what happens, and why this works, is during periods of severe carbohydrate restriction, your liver will actually break down fatty acids in your body to produce ketone bodies. All right, these are water-soluble molecules that are ideal for our cells. They give our cells tons of energy. It actually gives our cells more energy and better fuel than what sugar will give our cells. All right. This helps burn fat in our bodies because our body's resorting to using our fat storages for energy. All right, now what is the science behind this? Now, more important than I think what burning fat is for our body, I'm going to talk about a huge benefit to intermittent fasting, and that's brain functionality, all right? It is actually a better nutrition tool or diet tool for your brain, all right? This helps your brain. So what it helps with your brain is what is called myelin regeneration, all right? Myelin, all right, is an insulating layer that forms around your nerves, all right, and these nerves are including your brain and your spinal cord. It's made up of protein and fatty substances, all right, and myelin allows electrical impulses to transmit more efficiently between the nerve cells. All right, so basically it's around your nerves and your brain is just some fatty insulation, and that it helps rebuild that fatty insulation. And you want this in your brain. It helps neurons fire more correctly. Now, there's a study done at the University of California. There are some researchers that found that a fasting mimic diet promoted myelin regeneration. All right, this is good because it helped build new fatty tissues around the nerves. All right, you want this. It allowed their brains to really work more efficiently. All right, and then there's another study in the 20th century by a scientist named George Carhill, who learned that when his patients would fast, it would help them prevent seizures. All right, and it also put them in a state of ketosis. So this was actually going on in the 20th century. And another thing I want to kind of address about fasting is this has been done since Egyptian days. This has been part of religions for thousands of years. So this isn't really a new I guess, nutrition line to follow. It's been something that's been going on for a long, long time, but I feel like it's much more mainstream right now because the science is proving that this is good for you. So there's kind of some science on it, all right? It helps with brain functionality and rebuilds that myelin in your brain, all right? And overall, important for you. Now, how do you use intermittent fasting? All right, so what do you do to use this? Well, as I touched on earlier, it gives yourself basically 6 to 8 hours in the day to eat and then 16 to 18 hours that you don't eat. Now, what you do is you just wake up in the morning, all right? You can have black coffee, water, lemon water, green tea, and some healthy fats, but essentially you just don't eat, all right? Most intermediate fasting programs, depending on what time you work or when you get up or what your schedule is, but for the normal person who wakes up maybe at 6 or 7 a.m., you don't eat until about 2 p.m., all right, in the afternoon. So you skip breakfast, you skip lunch, you kind of have like a later midday meal. Now, the biohack I want to share to intermittent fasting and how to do this more efficiently is with a trick called bulletproof coffee, which I'm sure you've maybe have heard of also. I actually will use this several times a week also. And bulletproof coffee does some awesome things if you choose to do intermittent fasting. Now, to avoid crashing while eating and to provide your brains with some important nutrients. Now, a lot of us go throughout our day, we're going to work, we're making big decisions. If we restrict our brain of all nutrients and calories, then, we might not be making the most effective decisions. We're going to be tired, we'll be more drained, might not be as alert. So having this bulletproof coffee will still supply your brain with essential vitamins and minerals to allow it to function as it normally would when you don't eat carbohydrates or proteins. So the idea of bulletproof coffee is basically in the morning, you take grass-fed butter, specifically grass-fed butter. There's a probiotic in there that works with your gut bacteria more efficiently than regular butter. So use grass-fed butter. MCT oil, which is medium-chain triglycerides. You can get this as an oil at most like vitamin or supplement stores. And then a healthy EPA or DHA oil from either fish oil or coconut oil. I personally choose to use fish oil. It's a better source of these EPA and DHAs, but you can use what tastes better for you. All right, now, bulletproof coffee allows your body to use energy. It still restricts your body of protein and sugar, but it keeps it in a fasting mode and supplies it with essential nutrients, all right? What I would definitely say is try this. If you're sensitive to caffeine, it might not be good, but you can do it with a decaf coffee also. So keep that in mind. So once again, try intermittent fasting. Wake up in the morning, go throughout your day. Don't eat until about 2 p.m. Instead, for breakfast, try this bulletproof coffee recipe. Just have bulletproof coffee and water. All right, once again, grass-fed butter, MCT oil, medium-chain triglycerides, EPA, and DHA. Put it in your coffee, blend it up in a blender, drink it, go about your day. All right, see how you feel. You'll be surprised. You'll have a lot of energy from this, and you should feel pretty awesome. A couple notes I want to share is what I recommend is always consult the doctor before you try to switch up your programs or your nutrition programs. If you're insulin resistant or diabetic, I would refrain from fasting. All right, this is not for everybody. If you get headaches during the day or if you get headaches from fasting, what that might mean is your body is still resorting to carbohydrates for energy rather than fat for energy, and your body's carbohydrate dependent rather than fat dependent. And after doing some fasting for a while, this should actually go away and this should improve because your body will switch to using fat for energy because it's not going to have those carbohydrate sources available while you fast. All right, so keep that in mind. I don't want to go off on too much of a tangent, but it's actually more primal for your body. So back in caveman days, your body was using fat as its main fuel source rather than carbohydrates because carbohydrates were less accessible then. I think a big reason for why intermittent fasting works or why it's so effective is that it really provides clear windows for people on when they can or when they can't eat. Whether they go to a work luncheon, if it's not 2 o'clock, they're not eating then. If it's not breakfast, they're not eating then. And that automatically is putting people in more of a calorie deficit, which therefore is allowing them to burn fat. So the black and white windows for people works because people are very yes or very no. They're 100% or they're 0. So I think that helps. But Controlling your nutrition intake in any sort of structured way, for the most part, is going to have some positive effects for people, especially if your goal is to lose fat. Now, if your goal is optimal health, then that might not be the best reason, but it's definitely something to keep in mind. Intermittent fasting is just another tool for you in your toolbox. I recommend this in all of my nutrition talks, all of my emails, all of my videos, but try this on yourself. All right, this is not do it or don't do it. It's test it on you and see what works for you. I think the big people make is they follow these one-size-fits-all nutrition programs, and that is just not the reality anymore. There's a big change coming to the nutrition and the fitness industry that these one-size-fits-all programs, they're going to totally disappear because the science is there to prove that not every diet nutrition tip works for everybody. There are things that work for me that will not work for you. There's things that work for you that will not work for me. And building this melting pot and trying these different things and seeing what you feel the best on is going to be the most effective than what anything else will be. Once again, make something that's individualized for yourself. All right, and I think if you do that and you follow all of these tips I'm giving you and you make this a melting pot and you say, oh, that worked for me, that didn't work for me, I tried intermittent fasting, I hated it, I tried it, I loved it, then keep it and maintain it. So hopefully that gives you some more insight into why it's popular or why you should try it. And hopefully it helps because we're here to kind of make some, make benefits and help people and get them to their goals. So let me know if you have questions. Happy to assist. Thank you for watching. All right, and have a great day. All right, bye.